let's get started. Okay. All right, we're going to get started here. Okay, so the 6-step system for beginner real estate investing. This is literally the step-by-step process that you need to be taking right now in order to start investing in real estate. Okay, so let me see. Oh, it says my screen sharing is paused. Why is my screen? Can y'all see my screen? Let's stop the share and then let's do it again. I want to make sure y'all can see this. Hey, okay, everybody's getting on. You should be able to see my screen now. And it has my PowerPoint on it. Just want to make sure y'all can see that, right? Say yes, please, in the chat. And then we'll get started. Okay, good. All right. I'm gonna make this bigger now, and then we'll just go slide by slide. Okay, let me get this out of the way. Okay. All right. So basically, what's going on right now in the world concerning real estate investing? Well, everybody has assumptions. That's the thing. Everybody just has assumptions, right? So instead of us diving deep into like what's going on in the world economy and U.S. economy and how's the real estate market going to, what's going to happen with the real estate market, essentially what I want to go through today is like what you should be focusing on right now to get started, right? So it doesn't really matter if you're on an upswing or a downswing. These are the things that you should be focusing on, right? And I'm going to go over these kind of most important things. Now, when I talk about these things that we're going to be discussing today, now depending on an upswing or a downswing is what you want to be focusing on, but these 3 things you should be focusing on right now. These steps that I'm telling you right now, all these different steps that we're going to go over, you have to be focusing on no matter what, but depending on whether it's an upswing or upswing or a downswing, right? That's you have to tweak it a little bit, right? But no matter what, across the board, you have to do these things in real estate investing in order to get leads coming in, to find deals, and to, to get houses under contract. So anyway, so let's get started. So what is the single most important thing that you should be doing right now? My personal opinion, this is what I tell all my students all the time, is you've got to start getting your money in order. If you have bad credit, you got to get your credit in order, right? So that you can, you can have good credit, so that you can get, if you need to take a loan out, you can take a loan, right? So you need to be focusing on getting your credit in order. Over the last 6 months, that's what I've been doing. I'm rearranging my money, kind of getting money together, looking at my credit reports and cleaning up my credit reports. Really just kind of been talking to my lenders and like seeing like what's available, what's coming available and stuff in terms of loans. So you need to be getting your credit in order. You need to understand that right now cash is king, right? So how much cash do you have? And if you don't have any cash, well, what can you do in order to create your cash? Because you're going to have cash no matter what. You have to have cash anyways to get your business started, to do marketing, and you have to have money to do deals. So if you don't have money, then you need to work on figuring out how you can make money, or you need to partner with somebody that has money. All right. Because even to run a business, it costs money, all right? Nobody really talks about this, but you need money to run your business. I mean, anybody that focuses on like free stuff in order to get your business up and running is just, honestly, is just kidding themselves, right? You've got to be able to run your business. You have to have money in order to run your business, okay? So cash is king, and you need to be talking to all lenders. I've been saying this now for 2 months straight. Every single webinar that I talk about, that I've done in the past 2 months, and I've done about 15 webinars in the past 2 months. Every single one of them, I say, you've got to be talking to lenders right now. There's lenders that are coming, and there's lenders that are going. And so you need to be all up to date on what your lender's new terms are. They're all changing their terms. Interest rates are going up. Down payments are going up. Some are saying it's risky. Some are saying it's not risky. And the only way you're going to know if, what your lenders want, what they're looking for, is by asking them, right? So my personal opinion is every single lender that you meet, and you need to be talking to them and just creating relationships with them and just, trying to figure out what their terms are. I've been talking, literally over the past 2 months, I've talked to probably, at least 20 or 30 lenders, just to make sure that I got all my ducks in a row when, you know, a deal come up. And actually I'm working right now on 3 different deals. Right, there's 3 different properties that I want to buy right now. So I'm trying to find money and talk to all the lenders and get all my, you know, my money in order. So you have to be doing that right now. So focus on finding lenders, getting your money in order, getting your credit in order, and then finally is marketing. You have to be marketing in order to get properties, right? You have to be marketing in order to get properties. I mean, that's the thing, is like, if you look on the MLS, MLS is just one way of many, many different ways that you can find properties. So you need to be, and there's nothing wrong with looking on the MLS. The only thing is that everybody is on the MLS. You know, everybody's on the MLS. So if you're going to be working on looking at properties on the MLS, you need to be putting a lot of offers in, all right? A lot of offers. Whereas, for instance, if you're doing online marketing and all the marketing is just being fed to you, then, you know, those leads are just for you. So you don't have to do that much marketing, right, for online marketing. And if you're doing direct mail marketing, well, everybody has the same list that you have, right? So there's only so many people in the world that have pre-foreclosures, foreclosures, bankruptcy. There's only so many people, there's only so many lists out there, right? And I can guarantee you all the big wigs, all the people that are doing 10 or 20 deals in a month, they bought every single list out there in the entire world and they're marketing to it, right? So if you're going to be playing in this game, then you got to go big. All right, especially right now, because all of the people that understand real estate investing all understand that right now is the time to get into the market, right? Where a lot of people are just bowing out. I mean, over the past 2 months, I mean, I've just seen numerous people be bowing out of the market and getting scared, and which is typical and common, but not us. Right? Not us, because we know that now is the time to be getting into the market. So, I mean, I've literally in the last 2 months bought 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 or 6 different lists of 5,000 names. All right. And we're marketing to them. So that's, you know, that people like me, people that know how to make money in real estate, that's what they're doing. So you have to compete. If you're a newbie, you got to compete with people like us. All right. So you got to step it up. Okay. All right, and then above all, you need to learn, right, as much as you possibly can to invest in real estate. I have a workshop that I did a couple of weeks back. It's a how to get started in real estate investing workshop. And if you want the replay of that, I highly recommend that you watch it. It's 4 hours. It's only going to be 28. It's only $28. It's not that big of a deal, but you can watch it and it will really take you step by step by step, taking this even deeper into how you can get started in real estate investing. So make sure that you go to my website, or you can email me at stacy@stacyrossetti.com if you're interested in that workshop. We're in the process of making it into a course right now. So it's going to take a little while to do that, but you can always email stacy@stacyrossetti.com and I'll just send you the link to purchase, and then you get the replay for it. Okay. And then also you need to be involved in a community of like-minded individuals, you know, other real estate investors just like you. I own the South Atlanta area, so you know a lot of people are in the South Atlanta area, but you need to check out your local South Atlanta, you know, your local REIA. And a REIA is a Real Estate Investors Association. So you can just type in REIA, REIA, or Real Estate Investors Association. Just Google it in your area. And you will be able to find, you know, groups in your area that you can hang out with. And, you know, a lot of them are going to be virtual nowadays because that's just how it is, you know. But at least you can start getting to know people and building your buyers lists and really, you know, and meeting other investors out there in the world so that you don't become an island. Because a lot of investors, I'm telling you, they think that they have to do all this on their own. And most of the investors out there that are doing great right now, they're partnering with others. I mean, every single investor that I see that's doing a great job, doing awesome right now, just all they're doing is partnering and building their business that way. So I highly recommend checking those out. Okay. All right. So challenges of getting started in real estate investing. So so basically what we're going to talk about today is like the 6 first steps that you need to be doing, or the 6 kind of overall steps that you need to be focusing on. Now, people don't realize that in real estate investing, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of moving parts, right? So you want to really, and I'm going to go over all of the moving parts today so that you kind of have an idea of what, you know, you should be focusing on. So get ready to take a lot of notes. Okay. And then what we'll do is go through step by step on each of those. You know exactly what to do, but I'm only going to be doing a high level. So like I said, if you really want to learn how to invest in real estate, I highly recommend that you take my course and you buy the replay. It's $28 for the replay. It's a little mini course, but it's 4 hours long, so it's not really too bad, but I think it'll give you a very good in-depth idea of kind of what all the main things that you should be focusing on right now, especially in this market today, okay? Also, you can go to my YouTube channel as well, and all of the webinars that I've done over the past couple of weeks, we're slowly trying to get those on. So you'll be able to see all those as well too, and you can watch all those for free too, okay? Okay, all right, let's get going here. So we are in the downswing of the market, the market cycle. Okay, we are in the downswing. All right. So essentially, a lot of people. I came in on the upswing. I came in 2010 to the market, to the real estate market. Okay, and actually that was like the perfect time to get into the real estate market, and it was like the best time to get into the real estate market because I could buy houses for super cheap. And I mean, we just rehabbed homes and just, you know, had a good old time all the way up to the euphoria, right? I mean, actually right between excitement and euphoria, I was doing pretty good around excitement. And after that, I got tired of rehabbing. So I took a little break and I started in 2017 and 2016, 2017, I started investing in storage facilities, right? So all the way from about 2010 to about 2016 or so, 2017, I was doing rehabs and did a lot of rehabs. And 2017, I started investing in storage facilities, and that's kind of what we focus on now. I am doing a rehab right now, so I will still do rehabs, but I'm just not. At one point, I was doing like 20 rehabs at a time. I'm just not doing that anymore. Like we'll just do one a year. If we find a good one, we'll do one. One or two or something like this. All right. But yeah, so that is kind of where we are now. We are in the downturn, so we're coming in here. So my question to you is, where are you on this? Are you in denial? Are you getting into fear, panic? Right? We're coming down into this downswing right now. And my personal opinion is that if you know how to invest in real estate, you should not be feeling denial, fear, or panic, right? You should be like super excited. I'm very excited about what's to come. And like I said, I've been over the past couple of months really trying to kind of prepare. I mean, honestly, really over the past year or so, my husband and I have been preparing for the downturn to be ready to be able to buy whatever we want and, to do whatever we want and not have any worries and stuff. So if you are a real estate investor, then you know that in the downturn is actually where the most opportunity is, right? It's the lowest risk and the highest opportunity. So you should not be scared about the downturn coming. You should be preparing for the downturn, right? You should be getting all your marketing in order and getting ready to, and learning how to invest in real estate, especially if you're a newbie, okay? So what is going to happen over the course of the next couple of years? I mean, everybody's saying there's either going to be like a V or there's going to be like a U. Okay, the V is where it's like it's going to be like a drop, like a quick six month drop, and then a 6 month up, right? A lot of people are saying it's going to be a V shape, and then but then there's some people that are just saying it's a U shape, and a U shape is usually a 12-month drop and then a 12-month up. Okay, so it's going to be one of those two, but the truth is like nobody knows, right? Essentially, nobody knows what's going to happen. Everybody's just speculating. Everybody's just guessing. So I have no idea. All I know is what I can do right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to stop looking for properties. I'm going to keep contacting sellers. I'm not going to give up. I know passive income is the best way to build long-term wealth. So I focus on that. And I know that we're going to get through this, right? So I want you to kind of feel that same way too. As an investor that kind of knows what they're doing, this is what's going on in my mind right now. I literally have no idea what's going on, but I do know what I can do right now. And these are the things I can do right now. So why trust me? All right. So why trust me? So I've been investing in real estate since 2010, and I've done over 100 rehabs in 5 years. I completed over 100. I've completed several hundred transactions in the real estate world, and I've taught hundreds of students just like you in the last 5 years. Um, how to invest in real estate, and I just love teaching people how to invest in. And I've only been really kind of focusing on the Atlanta area, and just in just in the last couple of months really kind of just went out and kind of pushing other people outside of the state and helping them to learn as well too. So so I'm here to help you on your real estate journey. I love teaching people how to invest in real estate, and and hopefully you'll start following me so that you can get all of the free stuff that I do, and any kind of courses and stuff that I offer coming up. Okay. Let's see. This is my family, right? So we actually, this is my husband and my daughter. We live in the North Georgia mountains in a little tiny house. And we own storage facilities. We have investment properties. We do rehabs, and we teach people how to invest in real estate. That's who we are. Okay, just so you know. And these are the types of rehabs that I did. I did not go out and do like huge big guts and things like this. I don't do like super big. I'm not good, really honestly, at doing like super duper big rehabs. It's just not my cup of tea. What I'm good at is like cookie cutter, very, very cookie cutter. This is why I could do 15 to 20 rehabs at a time, is because every single one of my rehabs looked exactly the same. So this is kind of what I did. Is I went in and my rehabs were anywhere from like $30,000 to $60,000, something like this. And so that's the same house, and then we come in and we just painted it, we updated the outside, and it's just a very nice clean quick rehab. I'm saying a very quick in and out rehab. And this is a house that I wholesaled. This is one of the houses that I wholesale. So I also wholesale. If I come across a property that maybe is out of the area that I focus on, then I'll just wholesale it, right? And then this is actually an abandoned storage facility that I found. And that's one of the things that I teach is how to find abandoned storage facilities, and and then try to get a hold of the owners, and then buy them if I can, or wholesale them, one or the other. So, okay, so let's get started. So now the 6 steps are right here. This is the 6 steps. So let's start writing down all the 6 steps so you know how to, how to get started. Basically what I teach all my students is exactly what I teach them, is that you have these 6 departments within your business. Nobody really kind of understands or knows that, but because you're always just doing stuff, you're just like, you're just doing whatever needs to get done, and you're just putting out fires. But essentially, if you really kind of boil it down, your organizational chart of your company looks like this. You've got your office admin, you've got marketing, acquisitions, finance, construction, and liquidations, right? So those are your 6 steps. So and your 6 departments, and which within each one of those departments you have like a gazillion things that need to get done, and a gazillion things that you have to learn about, right? So that's what we're going to go over, is here's your 6 steps, here's your 6 departments. Now what do you have to do inside of those departments? So the first thing is in your office admin, you've got to set up your phones, right? So you've got to find a way to set your phones up. You need to really have a personal phone and then a business phone separated, right? A phone number separated. So you want to either get like Google Voice, a free Google Voice number, or you want to maybe use, you could use something like Grasshopper. We use Grasshopper, but we have several different lines. And then we just have them all, we have them all in Grasshopper, but you can start out with Google Voice, which I think is free. I'm not 100%. I think it's either free or it's a couple dollars to buy a Google Voice line. Okay. And I can't remember what it is because it's been so long since I did that. But, and then you want to go electronic. What I say about go electronic is that you want to be able to manage everything that you do within your you're in the cloud, right? So for instance, my computer just died on Saturday, literally right before I was about to go on and do this workshop. And so what I did was I went out and bought a new computer, and I just literally just like, did the basic things that you have to get your computer set up. But luckily I back everything up to a hard drive, but on top of that, I use Google Drive, right? So all I had to do was go on and just sign into Google, and like all my files are there, everything's right there. And then like, it only took me, maybe a couple of hours to get all set up on my computer, which is really cool. So, and then another thing is that the thing is that in the real estate investing business, you are so mobile. It's not like you're just sitting in front of your computer all the time. And if you are just sitting in front of your computer, then you're obviously not going out and looking at properties and putting deals in. So in the only way that you're ever going to be able to get a property under contract is by going and looking at the property. If you're just sitting in front of the computer, you're not going to get your deals done. You're not going to get any deals done, okay? So, especially when you get started, okay? Now, what you want to do is what I do is I just have on my phone, I have Google Drive right here. I just use the Google Drive app. I use all the Google apps right on my phone. This is actually a Google phone, but I use all of the Google apps. And then whenever I need something, I just look it up on my phone. I can find it. So I look at the Google Drive app.
This is the top result.
Oops, sorry. Whenever I look at my phone, whenever I'm like looking for any type of a document, I just go right into Google Drive and save it, right? And then that way, when I'm on my computer and working at my desk, and then when I'm out in the field, I can find them easily. And so let's just say that you're going out and looking at the property, you're going to be taking a lot of pictures, right? You're going to be out, like that's what you do when you go like a property, take like a gazillion pictures, do a video. And then what happens is if you don't save it right into the folder of whatever folder that you've created for that house on Google Drive or whatever cloud system that you're using, then it just sits on your computer, on your phone, and then you're scrolling through and you just see house. It's like, which house was this? I have no idea, because you see so many houses that you just get all sidetracked. It just gets all jumbled together. Every house starts looking the same, right? So you want to just like when you're out and about, take a lot of pictures, take a video of the property, and then upload it directly into that folder that you've created in the drive. So it's right there. And I just upload it right into a folder called like before pictures or something like that. So the main folder would be like 123 Main Street. And inside that folder is a folder that says before pictures, and I upload everything right into that. All right. And then you can just you can put everything that you do inside of those folders and keep it really nice and organized, right? So that's why I have Go Electronic, Google Drive, set up your LLC. What I mean about that is that, you have to have some sort of a company where you can buy things. I personally would never, ever buy anything in my name. I just wouldn't. I've had a company set up from day one, and it's always been for a buy and hold. It's been LLC. And for all my flips and wholesale deals, I'm using an S Corp. Now, I am not an attorney. I'm not an accountant. I'm not somebody that can give you like legal advice on how to set your businesses up, right? So I would highly recommend talking to somebody and making sure that you get them set up properly. I'm just telling you from my experience, what I've done is I just have like an LLC, and then I do all my buy and holds in an LLC, and all my active income, right? So there's active and passive income. So active income is your S Corp, which has your wholesales and your rehabs in it. And then the buy and holds is your LLC. That's where you hold all your properties, okay? So highly recommend that you talk to an attorney about this and get that set up properly based on your situation. I'm not giving you any legal advice at all. But what you can do, what I do is I actually have Legal Shield. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Legal Shield. If you have, let me know. If anybody even sells Legal Shield or whatever, let me know. But essentially, I just go to Legal Shield, and I can send everybody my link if you're interested in getting it set up. But and it costs, I think, like $150 to set your business up. So it's really not that expensive. And they'll even create your operating agreement and all the corporate documents that you need for that business. Whereas if you go and set that up, like if you just go and like register your company, there's no there's no organizational, agreements or docs or, whatever you set up, you just registered. That's all you did is just registered it. You still need all those documents because like what happens is when you close on a property, you have to hand all these documents to the attorney. The attorney needs all those documents in order to close. So you definitely need to set up an LLC, set up an S Corp, whatever you're working on, make sure you set those up. And you need to start building your team out, right? So that's why I said highly recommend getting involved in a RIA, a local RIA within your area. So just Google RIA, REIA, and then you'll have like, if you live in Miami, it'll be like a Miami one, and in Atlanta we have a couple of different RIAs, and you can just join them, and then you start getting active and you start meeting those people, because in those RIAs you're going to meet like realtors and attorneys and like wholesalers and contractors, and everybody that you need to build your team up will be all in those RIAs. So I highly recommend joining your local RIA and getting involved in that. Okay. And then your next department, your next step is your marketing, right? So you've got to pick your market. The first, what you got to do is figure out, okay, locally, where am I going to focus on, right? So really I did a whole webinar just on picking your market. So I highly recommend that you watch that to go really in deepen that. But what I would do is I would, really just kind of stick to your area for right now, right? And just really kind of get to know your area. You want to know like what's selling, what areas are hot, what areas are not hot, how many days on market is your property sitting. So you want to kind of really research that market and see if that's a good market for you, right? In some areas, maybe the market's going to go down, which could be good opportunity. In some areas, sometimes it might go back up, right? So for instance, I'm really interested in the Austin market, but the Austin market is so expensive, and I really hope it goes down, but it's not looking like it's going down that much. So you want to try to figure out which markets are going to be good for you and which are not, based on where you live. So start in your area first, I highly recommend, and then, and see if it's a good area by researching it. And then the second thing that you need to do is, if you don't want to do your area, well then find where's a place that you can have a boots on the ground person to go look at properties, because you have to be able to go look at properties. So if you have like a family member in a different area that might be a good area, then maybe hook up with them and have them be your boots on the ground person when you have properties to go look at. Okay. And then also with marketing, you need to understand the difference between motivated and unmotivated sellers. Essentially, motivated sellers are they're motivated, so they're going into pre-foreclosure or foreclosure. They're they're going bankruptcy, divorce. These are all motivated sellers, right? And then you have unmotivated sellers. These are like landlords, inherited properties, probate. They don't want to sell. So you really need to understand the difference between motivated and unmotivated sellers. On top of that, when I teach my students marketing, I teach them that marketing is a strategy. So not only do you say, okay, well, I'm going to focus on motivated sellers, then you say, okay, well, what kind of a letter do I need to send to them? And then also on top of that, how many touches do I need to do, right? And what is the parameters of the lists that I buy? So you really need to kind of understand it and really dig deep into the marketing strategy. Highly recommend that you watch like my marketing webinars that I have as well too, and you can find those on my YouTube page, and really kind of educate yourself on the difference between motivated and unmotivated sellers. And then you have things like and then you have the difference between like online marketing and direct mail marketing, right? So direct mail marketing is where you're mailing letters to them. You buy a list and you mail them letters, right? Or you cold call them, right? And you kind of cold call and talk to see if they're interested in selling, right? Or you send them text messages, right? And you can, that's all kind of direct mail marketing. And then you have online marketing, and online marketing is where you get a company to create a website for you, and then they manage all of the SEO and the PPC and the clicks and all that kind of stuff. And then you get your own leads, your own personal leads based on how much you spend. And both of them are, you spend the same amount of money on both of them and you get leads coming in, right? So it's not like one is more expensive than the other. They're both kind of the same price. It's just what type of person are you? Are you a person that's like, yeah, I want to like call people and talk to people and get phone calls and like that kind of thing? Or are you the kind of person that's like, I'd rather have somebody manage it and then I just call on my own time whenever I have time? And a lot of people like that have full-time jobs, they'll do the online marketing, and the people that are just sitting at home, like they'll do like the direct mail marketing. Or do both and try both out and see which one best fits you. Okay, so that's it. And you have to really think about your marketing budget, right? You've got to spend money to make money. I personally recommend that you need to be spending a couple $100 a week on marketing, right? Yeah, it's a lot of money, but it's expensive. I mean, but it's important. You need to be consistent in your marketing. You are never going to get a deal if you don't market. Number one, you've got to market to get leads coming in. You've got to talk to the leads. You've got to be consistent with that marketing. You can't just buy one list of 50 names, call them, and then just like hope you get a deal. Because I'm telling you, marketing in the real estate world is all about numbers. That's what it is, numbers. The more you market, the more offers you're going to be able to make. The more offers that you're going to be able to make, then the more deals you're going to get. Same thing with lenders, right? The same thing. Like the more lenders that you talk to and go through all their, their applications and stuff, then the more money you're going to have. Acquisitions. Okay, so here's your next department. This is your next step. You've got to acquire the product. Now that you've got marketing going, you're setting all your marketing up, you're getting leads coming in, you're talking on the phone. So now you need to learn these steps. You need to learn how to run comps, right? You need to have some sort of comping software. Either you need to have access to the MLS, or you need to get like Privy or PropStream or all the different kinds of like marketing softwares that are out there. Comping softwares that are out there, right? So you need to really research comping softwares. And yes, if there's a monthly fee to each of them, all right? So I would just check them all out and see which one is the best for you. Repair analysis, right? So now you need to be able to do, repair. Like you need to figure out how much are the repairs going to be on each of the house, because you can't give an offer until you know what the repairs are going to be. You can't look at pictures and be like, oh, I think it's going to be like 20 grand, which is exactly what most people do, right? But the truth is that you've got to learn how to figure out what the repair costs are, right? And you've got to educate yourself on how to find and figure out a repair cost. All right, so I use for deal analysis, I use a company called ROI Muse. I highly recommend that you check them out. It's a deal analysis spreadsheet, and they will help you to run numbers on all your deals. And you can do rentals, you can do commercial, you can do rehabs. They have deal analysis spreadsheets for like all of them. And when you open it up, you kind of look at it and it's like, oh, it's kind of a little complicated. But once you learn how to do it, it gets really easy, right? You just have to educate yourself, and they do a lot of education. So I highly recommend that you check out ROI Muse. And see if you can get on their free trial and check that out. But you need to learn how to run comps, and you need a software for that. You need repair analysis, and you need to learn how to run numbers on that. You need deal analysis, right? So you need to learn how to run deal analysis. And then you need to be making offers, right? I mean, you are never, ever, ever going to get a deal if you don't make any offers, right? So my personal opinion is just make an offer, come up with a number and make an offer. And just see what all I can say is yes or no. I make offers all the time. And I made an offer on a storage facility just a couple of days ago, and they said no. And I was like, well, keep it in mind, because I really want to buy this place. And we're only a little bit off on the price, but he doesn't want to come down and I don't want to go up. So we'll see what happens. And if you want to do virtual wholesaling, or if you want to do, remote rehabbing or whatever you want to do, if you want to do something outside of your area, then like I said, you really need to have a boots on the ground person. Okay, you really, really need to have a boots on the ground person. And so you just have to look for that to help you to go out, look at properties and analyze them, take pictures, this kind of thing, talk to the owners. All right, now you need to find money, right? You need to figure out how to buy these suckers, right? So now you've done the marketing, you got everything set up, you got your acquisition stuff all set up, and now you need money, right? That's like, you can't buy any properties unless you don't have any money, right? So the things that you have to learn is the first thing that you have to learn is creative deal structuring. Okay. Creative deal structuring means little, or like, you hear all the time, like, oh, I bought properties with no money down or little money down. That is creative deal structuring. All right. So those are things like lease options, sandwich lease options, owner financing, seller financing, subject tos, deed in lieu of foreclosures. I mean, partnering with the owners, JVing, like all these different kinds of structures. Those are creative deal structures. Okay. And I did a webinar on this as well too, so I highly recommend go back and watching that, Creative Deal Structuring 101, and that will give you a good kind of, an idea of what it is. But the truth of the matter is the only way that you can really learn creative deal structuring is just to get out there and make offers. And my personal opinion is you should be making like 3 to 5 different offers on your deals, right? 3 to 5 different offers. And the only way that you can make 3 to 5 different offers is if you understand creative deal structuring. So you have to learn how to do creative deal structuring, or you become one of the other, you become one of everybody else, which is the person that just makes a cash offer. And if you don't take my cash offer, well, then it's not a good deal. But some people, but what I teach my students is let's do a cash offer, but then let's also give them 2 or 3 other offers, right? So that way, at least if they're not in, if they say, no, I don't want to, we plan to seed you plan to seed, and then maybe later they're like, oh, maybe I should do that, because a lot of sellers, they need to be educated on, like, if you do owner financing, you're going to actually make more money than if you do, if you just take a cash offer. It's like, if you can hold off and not get all your money at one time, well, why not teach your seller that instead of just saying, oh, I get it. Because also another thing is that when they take cash, they have to pay capital gains. They don't realize that, but they got to pay all those taxes, right? The government's going to take all that money. So when you learn all these creative deal structures, then you can forego, well, not forego, but you can postpone all that is what you can do. You can postpone all these payments you have to make. Okay. All right, transactional funding. Transactional funding is like, if you're going to be a wholesaler, you need to have transactional funding, whereas like you need to find somebody that's going to loan you money for like 24 hours so that you can double close on a property, right? If you don't want the seller and the buyer to know how much money that you're making, then you need to have transactional funding, because if a seller and a buyer see that you're making $25,000 on a deal or whatever, they're going to be like, what the heck, So that's when you borrow transactional funding, and you just use that money. And there's lenders out there that will do 24 hours up to like 30 days, and then they'll just charge you like an interest rate. So really check out those if you're a wholesaler. And then private money, all right, is basically friends and family and coworkers, acquaintances, all these people that may have money. They're the ones that would be lending you the money. And hard money lenders are where you are like asset-based lenders, right? They're going to look at the property. The interest rate's going to be higher. The terms are going to be, the term of the loan is going to be lower. So you'll borrow the money for like a year and you'll have a higher interest rate, but who cares? As long as the deal works. I mean, who cares if you're paying 10% or 12 or 14%. You just have to make sure that those numbers work in your deal. All right, that's the main thing. So that's a hard money lender versus a private money lender. And then you have to find out within your state, do you close with attorneys or do you close with title companies, right? And you want to start getting to know all these real estate title companies and attorneys within your area, because those are the ones that will be closing your deal. And then once you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with that same attorney, and then they start like hooking you up and stuff, maybe give you cheaper rates and stuff like that. So an attorney or a title company is something that you definitely need to have on your team. And finally, bookkeeping. When you start getting into real estate investing and transactions and stuff, I'm telling you, bookkeeping is not easy. It's not easy at all. So, everybody says, I do my own bookkeeping. A lot of people say that they do their own booking. I'm like, why would you do your own bookkeeping? I have no idea why anybody would want to do that. Like, let a bookkeeper do that, and you go out and find properties and find money. Otherwise, you just get sucked into that, and it just is such a time waste, right? So your goal is to find somebody to do your bookkeeping. Otherwise, what happens is either A, you don't do it and it just sits like there and never gets done, and then like a month before taxes are due, you're like stressing out. Or B, like you have somebody doing it and then they just do it all and you have like no stress. right? So much better. Okay, the next department is your construction department, right? If you're going to be doing rehab, this is a good department for you. And this is where you're going to be hiring contractors, putting your scope of work together, a spec sheet, getting your permits and inspections, and having your punch party, right? So hiring contractors. If you're going to be rehabbing homes, you need to be hiring contractors all the time, because contractors come and go, and they're just like so shady and just like not fun to work with a lot of the time. So after 1 or 2 or 3 deals, like you're not going to be working with anymore. I had one contractor that we in like 1 year, I think we did like maybe 20 or 25 houses together. So, and then we worked a couple of years together. We would do like quite a bit of like anywhere from 15 to 25 houses in a year together. And he was awesome, but that's not normal. I'm telling you, that's not normal. All right. So you're always hiring contractors, vetting contractors, looking for contractors, right? You need to make sure that you understand how to write a complete scope of work, right? The scope of work has to be very detailed, and everything that you're doing in that house has to be in there. Otherwise, if you don't write it in, then there's going to be a change order. And I'm telling you, contractors love change orders. Even though they say, oh, I don't want to get anything, just get all this in, I don't want anything, they love a change order, right? So, and then the spec sheet is where you put all of the different specs of your house, like your faucets and doors and doorknobs and colors, the paint colors and your lights and all that kind of stuff. That's your spec sheet, right? That's where you're going to put everything that you need in order to finish the house out, all your finishes and everything. Okay, so you have your scope of work, your spec sheet, and then you've got to pull permits on the house. If you're taking a wall down or doing an addition, if you're doing like a big, huge rehab, you've got to do inspections and have permits, right? You have to do this. Now, if you're going to find a house where it's like you're updating the lighting and maybe putting some granite and painting the countertops, well, that's not something that needs a permit, but if you do take a wall down or move things around, move your kitchen around and put it from one side of the house to the other, that requires a permit. All right. So I always tell my students, pull permits, because I'm telling you, I've never, ever, ever had a stop work order because I always pull my permits. Right. But I know contractors, I know investors, rehabbers that are always getting stop work orders because they're not doing it properly, So, and you need to get all your inspections and just follow the rules. Just follow the rules. That's what I'm saying. Follow the rules of how to do rehabs in your area. And then finally, you want to have a punch party, right? And what that means is like actually the last couple of weeks of getting your house done is always the worst part, because like the contractors are just done. They're just done with this house. They're like, and like, but you're going in and you're seeing like spots and things that are wrong and stuff. And to get those contractors to come out, essentially, it's just like pulling teeth. So essentially what I do is I have punch parties. And it's just basically like getting all of my contractors there. So my general contractor, my MEP contractors, so electrical, HVAC, plumbing, get them all out there. I actually get a home inspection. I get a home inspector out there. I'm out there taping and looking at stuff. And like, we're trying to finish that house out like that day, like trying to figure out all the different things that are wrong. And everybody's there at one time. And then it just gets done like so much quicker. It gets done in like 2 or 3 days when everybody's there and everybody knows what to do, because the home inspector is going around and telling everybody this is wrong and this is wrong. I'm going to tell you what, when a contractor says that something is done, I can guarantee you, and they tell, oh, no, the house is done. And then we go get a home inspection. There's like 100 items on there. So don't ever trust the contractors. Get a home inspection and then get everybody to come there at the same time. And then everybody knows exactly what needs to get done. That's a punch party. Okay. And finally, liquidations. Okay, so with you, so liquidations is selling your property, right? So if you're a wholesaler, you need to have a buyer's list so that you can email out or text blast or voice blast, however you want to do that, to your house and let everybody know about it. You have to have somebody to buy your house. All right, so that is the that is a buyer's list, and you always need to be focusing on building your buyer's list. How do you build your buyer's list? You go to meetings, you get out and you start meeting other investors out there, right? So we have like our South Atlanta REIA meeting is virtual now. During our South Atlanta REIA meeting, we take time, and everybody that joins gets to introduce, everybody that wants to gets to introduce themselves. And so we have like a good, 45 minutes to an hour where like everybody says, hey, I'm Stacy and I'm a rehabber and I'm looking for homes in the Decatur area or whatever. And like, and here's my phone number, here's my email. And so we have this, even though it's virtual, we still have this. That's why I said, so find your REIAs and try to get a hold of your REIAs, because I'm telling you, that's going to be one of the best ways to start building your buyer's list. Okay. And then you have finding cash buyers and marketing for buyers, right? You always so finding cash buyers, you can get a list of cash buyers, you can get them off the MLS, you can buy a list, and you can actually mail out to them. Say, hey, like I have a couple of houses in your area. I see that you bought in this area before. Would you be interested in buying again? So you want to find cash buyers, and you do that by going on the MLS and getting the list there. Ask a realtor to pull up a list for you in your area, or you can actually buy that list as well too. And then you can market for those buyers and try to get those buyers. Okay. And then also another thing that you can do is partner. All right. So if you know somebody that's a big investor, a wholesaler or rehabber in the area, you can partner with that person and say, hey, like I have a house that's for sale. Like, do you know anybody? Let's partner and I'll just give you 50% of my deal. And you can partner that way too. Or somebody like me, like I have like a list of like 15,000 names, right? Realtors and investors in the area. And so I can blast that list out and just see if anybody wants to pick it up. Okay. And you can close, and then you need to be able to close deals. And so the way that you close the deals is you have an attorney or a title company, right? So you have to make sure as soon as you get that deal under contract, you hand it over to the attorney, let the attorney start processing the title, or the title company will process the title for you and start getting that closing done. Because if you hold that off, then it prolongs the close date. So you want to make sure that you're working with attorneys and working with title companies as well. Okay. All right, so, okay, great. So, and then I always teach my students as well too, the 3 most important things that you should be focusing on, right? So you have your 6 steps now and all the different departments and all the steps within the department to start working on, right? Hopefully you took notes and then you just list them out, and you can create like these, you can create like an organizational chart, and then under your with all the 6 departments, underneath the organizational chart, you can write all the things that need to get done. And then once you get those done, you can cross them off your list. I'm like a super big list person, right? If you know me, like I got lists on my wall, I got notes everywhere, like I'm a list person. And so you can create this organizational chart and just write everything that needs to get done. You can cross it off. Okay. So that's your 6 departments and everything that you need to do within your departments. All right. And then you also have I feel the 3 most important the top strategies that you should be focusing on for success, right? Which is creating systems and automating your business as much as possible. Personally, you should start with me. I think you should start with marketing, right? And totally automating that, because you should be finding houses and finding money. So everything else should be automated and systematized. Okay. You need to be delegating and seeing anything that's not finding houses and finding money, you should be delegating that to a virtual assistant. And virtual assistants are not expensive. They're not. All right. So people think that they are, but they're not. So and then you need to be building credibility, because nobody's going to give you any money. Nobody's going to loan you any money if you don't have any credibility, right? So you need to make sure that you're building credibility. And I teach my students, go on social media and start posting out all the houses that you're looking at, all the properties, whatever kind of properties you're looking at. Every time that you go, post something else. Say, hey, I just went out and looked at this house. What do you think about it? And just start, planting seeds. Credibility is about planting seeds. All right, building that credibility. Okay, and then finally, I just wanted to get into my my coaching program, my mentoring program, and what we do. And I'm telling you, if you want to fast track this, if you want to really, get into this, the best way to do it is to just to hire a mentor. I have a mentor. I've actually, I mean, over the course of the 10 years, spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on mentors. We actually have 3 different mentors this year, my husband and I, on all different types of real estate and business market and business strategies and stuff. So, and that's why I'm so successful. Honestly, it really is. If you want to really fast track and get this going and be ready for that V or ready for that U, whichever one's coming, then get a mentor. I'm telling you, that is the way to go. Okay. They are there to help you, for coaching, guidance, knowledge, support, and direction. And I just wanted to go over my mentoring program that I have, which is the Super Simple Beginner Investor Mastermind. Okay, so basically, what that is that we meet twice. We meet usually, in most cases, twice a month. It's every other Wednesday, unless I'm taking a vacation or anything like that. But we meet every other Wednesday morning, and it's a group coaching call, and it's virtual. You just sit at your house, and then I get up and I teach just like this, and I teach like. We go over deal analysis, we go over creative deal structuring, we go over marketing, how to get your marketing set up. We've talked about private lenders and how to find private lenders and private money. Essentially anything that you need in your business, this is what I do is I teach you what you need to do. And you have an accountability, right? So you have me, your coach, as accountability partner, and then you have the group as well too, right? So everybody in the group kind of says, okay, where's everybody at? What's everybody doing? And it kind of keeps you and holds you accountable, right? So that is the accountability portion of it, which I love. And then every Fridays we have office hours, right? So I opened up my schedule, and then like every Friday, all my students call in, and I just answer one call after another. Boom, 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 boom. And like you make sure you have all the questions that you need. Where am I supposed to go? Is this a good deal? Is this what should I be focusing on right now? How do I get my marketing strategy set up? That is really, you ask any questions that you have on Friday, and that is where I have this one-on-one coaching with you. Every single Friday, I'm there for you. So not only do you have me during your group coaching calls, and then you also have me every single Friday as well to keep you on account, hold you accountable, and keep you motivated and keep you moving forward. And then you get like all the contracts, all the documents, any checklist, all my systems, anything and everything that I have to set my businesses up, you will see exactly how I do that. So for instance, like Google Drive, you get to see exactly how I'm setting up my Google Drive, and you can just copy that and keep it nice and organized so that you can find it on your phone and go out and look for properties and stuff. So I teach you all systems internally within the company. And then we also, so I talked about there's 18 2-hour virtual Zoom coaching calls. So that's every other one. So basically it's a 1-year commitment, right? It's 1-year commitment. And in that year, the goal is to get you that first deal, right? And get you that first deal, get your foundations of your business set up, get your business automated and systematized, and then get you that first deal. So deal analysis is, because that's really kind of the hardest part, I think, for students, is really kind of like, is this a good deal? And then what I'll do is I'll teach you how to come up with, like I said, 3 to 5 different offers on every single house that you put an offer in, if you talk to the seller. Now, if you go through the MLS, you can only put one offer in, right? You can't go in and offer stuff. But if you talk directly to the seller, I will teach you how to do that. And then we have like 2-day, we have like two-day boot camps, right? So we're actually having another boot camp in July. It's a mastermind. It's 2 days. The first day is going to be all like just teaching. And then the second day, we're going to go out into the field and go look at houses, go look at a couple of wholesale deals. How do you run the deal analysis and do repair estimates on that? And then we're going to go to a rehab, and how do you do the deal analysis, and how do you do scope of work? I teach you how to put contracts together and how to do the scope of work and the spec sheet and all that kind of stuff as well too. So that's coming up in July. So if you're interested, then I highly recommend that what you do is just go to stacyrossetti.com and you go to just go to beginners dash mastermind and you fill the application out. And what that does is that you're applying essentially for a strategy session with me where I sit for 30 minutes with you and like go over where you at, what do you need to be doing, and then I talk a little bit about the mastermind and how that works and stuff too. So if you are interested in having a strategy session with me and a coaching session, that is the best place to do that. stacyrossetti.com beginners dash mastermind. And so my question to you is, what are your goals for the next 90 days? All right, sit with me and let's try to figure those out so you know exactly what you should be focusing on. And I do strategies. I do at least a couple of strategy sessions every day. All right, so I'm here to help you on your real estate journey. You just have to make that up. You just have to fill out the application for that. Okay. All right, and I think that's it, right? Yes. Okay, so let me answer any questions. If you have any questions, put them into the Q&A and I will, let me stop screen sharing and I'll do that. Does anybody have any questions or anything like that on the webinar, on my steps, my six steps or anything? No questions? Anything? No thoughts? Kind of quiet? The quiet crowd today? Nothing? Okay. All right, if you don't have any questions, then I guess we'll just end the meeting. Okay. All right, I appreciate your time. All right, and I will see you at the next webinar, okay?